All right, here's the ready to go on page. They want you to find the circumference and area of each circle. So let's start with the circumference. Circumference is diameter times pi. Well, the radius here is given as 7. The diameter is all the way across, so it's going to be double that. It's 14. It'll be 14 times pi, we'll use as 3.14. And 14 times 3.14 is 43.96. So the circumference is 43.96 and it's meters. And then the area, let's see, area is pi times the radius squared. So it's 3.14 times the radius, which is 7 squared. That means it's going to be 3.14 times 49. 3.14 times 49 is 153.86. So it's 153.86, but this is meters squared. So square meters on that one. Okay, number 2. We have blue on this one. So the circumference, what circumference is diameter times pi. That's just 12 times 3.14, which is 37.68. 37.68. That's 30. Oh, goodness gracious. 37.68, and this is done in feet. And then the area. Let's see, I'll go over here with the area. That's the pi times the radius squared. So that's 3.14, and the radius is 6. It's half of 12, right? So the radius is just from the center to the edge. That's just 6. So that's 6 squared. 3.14, 6 squared means 6 times 6, so that's 36. And 3.14 times 36 is 113.04. So that's going to be 113.04, and this is square feet. So let me erase that here. They kind of bled into each other, but hopefully you get the idea on that. Anyway, next, find the area of this one. It's called a composite shape. And let me erase this here, make some room. And we have, well, let's go with the triangle. So it's the area of the triangle plus the area of the semicircle, or the half. Oh, goodness. Okay, so the area of the triangle is base times height divided by 2. So it's 16 is the base, the height is 10, and divided by 2. Plus the area of the half circle. Well, the area of a circle is pi r squared, but half of that. Okay, so we have on the left, we have 16 times 10 is 160 divided by 2, which is 80. And we add to that 3.14 times the radius, and the radius is half of this, so it's just going to be from here out. So that's 8. So that's going to be times 8 squared divided by 2. Okay, so it's 3.14 times 64 divided by 2. And I'll just do the 64 divided by 2. 64 divided by 2, that's 32. So that would be 80 plus 3.14 times 32. So let's see if I believe I did that. Yeah, I got it right here. It's 3.14 times 32 is 100.48 plus the 80, and all together that is, oh, of course, it's 180.48. So it's 180.48 square meters. Next, number 4. It's over here. Another composite shape. I'm going to take the area of the rectangle, and I'm going to add to that the area of the parallelogram. Area of the rectangle is just 20 times 5.5. And I'm going to add to that parallelogram, is just base times height as well. So that'd be 20 times 4.5. And so 20 times 5.5 is 110, and 20 times 4.5 is 90. Together, that's 200. So it's going to be 200 square centimeters. All right, down here, number 5. I'm going to erase some stuff here. That's old stuff. Don't need that anymore. And we need to find the surface area and the volume. Okay, well, surface area. I'll call it SA. Surface area, this is going to be the long one. So you got to think about how many surfaces do you have? Well, what I count is the front and the back. That's 2. And then here, 3, and then 4 and 5. I count 5 surfaces here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 surfaces, and when I'm done, I'm going to add up all those surfaces. So I'll start with the triangle. That's 3 times 4 divided by 2, which is 6, right? Yeah, and then the front, and that's the front, and then the back is 6. So what I just did is I took the area of this front is 6, and the area of the back is also 6. Now I'll take the area of this slanted side here. That would be 10 times 5. So this is 10 times 5, which is 50. And then maybe the bottom, 4 times 10, that's 40. And then the left-hand side here is 3 times 10. Or 10 times 3 is 30. And when I add all these up, would that be 90, 120, 132, 132, I think, is there some? Yeah, 132. So that's 132 square centimeters, because I'm talking about surface area. Now the volume is going to be a little easier. And I'll erase this here so I can show you. Oops. Volume is just the base area times the prism height. So the base area, well, this is a triangular prism, and so the base is this triangle right here, and it's 3 times 4 divided by 2. That's the base area. So volume is the base area times the height. Goodness gracious. Times the height. So the base area is 3 times 4 divided by 2, because that's the triangle, and then the height is the prism height, which is this right here, which is 10. We don't need that 5 over there, so we just multiply that by 10. So this is 12 over 2 times 10, which is 6 times 10, which is 60. So it's going to be 60 centimeters cubed, so or cubic centimeters. Okay, now we're going to get to, I believe, the most challenging question here. Let's start with surface area. That's going to be the hard part. Starting with surface area. Surface area is, I like to ask, well, how many surfaces are there here? We have 1, this triangle in the front, and the back. So there's 2. And then this side here, 3. The other side, 4. Front, 5. Back, 6. 7. 8. And then 9 on the very bottom. So there's 9 surfaces. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 surfaces. I'll start with that triangle right here. This surface, the area of this is going to be 4, because that's 4. 4 times 1.5 divided by 2. 4 times 1.5 divided by 2. Well, that's going to be 2 times 1.5, so that should be 3. That front area is 3, and it has a back area, right? The front is the same as the back, so we have 2 of these, which are going to be 3. Now the right-hand side, this right-hand side here, that would be 2.5 times 2.5. So this would be 2.5 times 2.5, which is 6.25. And check it. Yeah, and the right side is going to be the same as the left side. So I just took the area of this this like roof over here, and the other side of the roof is going to be the same. So this is 6.25 for the left side of the roof. And I'll take now the area of this side wall here. So that's 2.5 times 2. That's 2.5 times 2, which is 5. And this that's the same as the left-hand wall right here, which is also 5. They have the same area. Now the front of this whole thing is going to be 4 times 2. Yeah, that's easy. That's 8. So 4 times 2, which is 8. And the back wall is also 8. And what we're missing is the floor. The floor is going to be 4 times 2.5. So that's 4 times 2.5, which I believe is 10. Okay, now we have to add up all of these areas together. We're going to add up all of this for the surface area. And when you do that, you get 54.5. So the surface area is equal to 54.5 square yards. And then we'll get the volume. I got to erase all this because I used up a lot of space. So the volume is going to be easier, but it's going to be done in 2 parts. We have the volume of the roof and the volume of the regular part of the house. So the roof is a triangular prism. So the volume of the triangular prism is equal to the base area times the height of the prism. And the base area is the area of the triangle, which is, again, that triangle is the 4 times 1.5 divided by 2. 4 times 1.5 divided by 2. And then times the height of the prism right there. And the height of the prism is this right here, which is 2.5. Okay, that's 3 times 2.5, which is, I think it's 7.5. So I'm going to save that. And I'm going to add to that the volume of the rectangular prism, which is the house part, right? It's the volume of this bottom part, which is really just 4 times 2.5 times 2. 4 times 2.5 times 2. And that would be 8 times 2.5, which is 20. Now, what I have to do is I have to now add the 2 parts. I add the 7.5 for the triangular prism and the 20 for the rectangular prism. And 20 plus 7.5 is 27.5. So I have, volume is 27.5 cubic yards. Okay, so in our last bit, we have the how can you use geometry figures to solve word problems. And well, what I could say is you can use composite figures to model a room then find the surface area, then find the surface area to decide how much paint you need, to decide how much paint. Oops. Paint you need to paint a room. All right, so that's all I got for that, and I hope that this tutorial has been helpful. Bye.